we're preparing for the next election. We're in a season. 2026 federal, national elections and state elections in some states and everything.
Yeah.
APGA is back again to become the beautiful bride that everybody wants to go and pay their bride price. People. And this is, if I'm not mistaken, this will be your first experience as a national chairman. I know that after it has happened before you became mate at first. It has already happened.
Yes,
so this will be your first experience of the whole election. How do you guys cope to manage a lot of the big weights trying to come back to APGA? We see what's already happening in Anambra North. Stella Odua is back. Alex Obiobole is there. Primus is there, the former chief of staff. We see what's happening at with the Onion Dozie or Chaya. How do you hope to manage the big weights and then now that people wants to come and embrace this beautiful bride once again? Go ahead, please.
It's a very simple thing. In every system, once you build strong institutions, the system will survive.
Okay.
And what builds strong institution is the will of the leaders to enthrone transparency and integrity in whatever process that they have set up, especially the primary election process. Today we have challenges. Part of the challenges we have today is a radically different structure that has now been engineered by the new Electoral Act. It's a very big problem. Under the previous Electoral Act, at least from 1999, 2006 to 2010 to 2022, the system of primaries that most political parties had adopted was the indirect system of primaries. Today, for the first time in over 30 years, we now have direct primaries as the only mode of primaries, apart from the consensus.
Anybody can emerge.
Of course, anybody can emerge. And so, the moment the structure is there, or the legislation is there, the next thing is, how do you ensure that you have a credible primaries? And like I said, remember you asked questions about what happened in Imo in 2018. And we told you, because you can actually try to set up a viable system or structure to ensure credible primaries. And the people you send to conduct the primaries go there and mess up the whole thing. It's still a possibility. So you must have at the back of your mind that this is a possibility and you must do your utmost best to take care of it. Again, the conduct of direct primaries comes or throws up its peculiar logistics challenges, because you will not be conducting primaries in a location. You will be conducting in different locations. Because direct primaries means if you come to Oka Ward 1, the primaries is ongoing in Ward 2, in Ward 3. At the end, just like general election, at the end of the day, you collect result. It throws up its peculiar logistics challenges. And we are waiting on INEC, because as a lawyer, normally when the new Electoral Act is passed, INEC provides some sort of subsidiary legislation in the form of guidelines and regulations for political parties primary. We are still waiting for it. But one thing I can assure you as a national chairman of APGA is that we are going to ensure a credible, transparent, integrity-driven process. That I can assure you, that you will get. There are no ifs, there are no two ways about it.
So we won't see the conclave thing that was actually applied during the by-election. I heard conclave during the by-election that produced the Nwachukwu.
You see, you can only do certain things within the ambit of the law. That's the point I am making. The by-election was conducted under the old Electoral Act that still recognized the indirect mode. And because we had a major fight ahead, because when people talk about this whole conclave thing, how people just come up with certain terminologies, it is very, very funny. We had a major election, the governorship election. Just 3 months after that election, INEC fixed the by-elections. And the party was saddled with the responsibility of crafting a strategy how we can go into that primaries. Remember I told you earlier on that part of the challenges that I addressed in my manifesto was the issue where people will participate in primaries. When one person wins, others will come together and sabotage
the person that
emerged in such a way that the party ultimately loses at the main election. And so we had these things. I can tell you that it took the ingenuity of our national leader who actually took that decision that, look, we must go into this election as one. When people talk about conclave, nobody who participated in that process complained thereafter. Let me shock you. After that process and the current senator emerged, each of his co-aspirants during the primaries took up the responsibility of being the local government campaign coordinator in their respective local government. If they didn't consent to the process, do you think they would have done that?
They wouldn't have.
Absolutely. The most important thing is that we crafted a system that ensured cohesion, that ensured unity, and that ensured that the party went into that election as one. It's detractors that are actually crying foul over this whole thing. The people that participated voluntarily, consented to the process, had no problem with it. Joined hands to ensure that we had the highest ever win in an election before the governorship election. We had about...
It was massive.
Yes, I think we have 1,934 polling units in Anambra South. We lost only 4 polling units. It's unprecedented.
Not even words.
But I said 4 polling units. We didn't lose one word. Not one word did we. Even the candidates in that election lost their respective words. Most lost their polling unit. The ADC candidate lost his polling unit. The Labour Party candidate lost his polling unit in that election. And so, you see, when people say these things, it's very funny. I can tell you that what we have consciously promised in the APGA is that we'll devote our resources, our energy, our talent, our passion to ensuring an integrity-driven primaries process. That I can assure you, it is something I am, and within the ambit of the new Electoral Act, because when you talk about this whole conclave thing, the Electoral Act says direct primaries. And so, of course, the Electoral Act, because when you talk about conclave is the same thing as the consensus that is in the Act. It means that everybody will come together and consent that you will be the candidate. Either they may do some sort of balloting or whatever. However they do it, the most important thing is that they all unanimously agree. If we don't have a unanimous agreement, simple, the party will go. So if people came together and unanimously agreed that this person is the candidate, who are you to complain on their behalf? You know, people can be funny. Who are you to complain on their behalf? They willingly consented to the process, say that whoever emerges, all of us will throw our support. The man emerged in a process clearly that they participated willingly, unanimously endorsed.
So we're not going to see the whole thing of somebody will lose primary election now and then go and buy a ticket somewhere else.
No, you cannot see that now.
Wonderful.
You cannot.
Wonderful. Because we have a lot of mishaps.
Absolutely.
And everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I've really exhausted you in a way, but I know that you're a liar. Not you're a liar. You're a lawyer. Sorry. So you're a lawyer, okay? And I'm not going to do none.
We have this. We
are open for you to come here periodically to actually.
I've said it earlier on, and I must say it more like my closing remarks.
Go ahead.
I must appreciate this young content factory with regards to what you guys are doing, and I really urge Nigerians, because I've been a keen and avid follower of what you do on social media.
Thank you.
And I can tell you that the right information is being passed to Nigerians through this medium.
Thank you.
It is very, very important.
Thank you.
Because when we preach about good governance, one thing is that we need an enlightened people to have an informed electoral process. It is very important. And this can be one of the mediums or channels through which we can empower our people politically. When we use this medium to tell our stories, to voice our opinions, and to make informed decisions about certain critical aspects of our country, and you push it out, you can never see thousands of views. Very soon you're going to be raking up millions of views.
Thank you.
It may seem small that, we are just in this flat, but I can tell you, the power of social media, the people you touch, the avenues you go, and the length to which this information is driven. You guys are doing well, and I can say,
thank you.
Just keep up with what you're doing.
Thank you.
And I urge Nigerians to continue listening to BAM.
Dalo.
Bam.
Thank you. Enwe ihe ọzọ ịchọ adịkwa enwe ike na inwe shout out more na inwe ihe ikwugo before ịchọkwa re-emphasize.
Well, the only thing I can re-emphasize is I urge Nigerians to actually join APGA. That's the major thing, the major message, the takeaway. Today, APGA has commenced the revalidation of its membership database, the registration of new members.
Digitally.
And by the way, we were the first political party to fully digitize our database. The first.
How so?
When we launched it on the 1st of June 2024. Before that, no other political party. After that, I think it was APC that keyed in. And today, Section 77, subsection 2 now mandatorily requires political parties to maintain a digital register. And so APGA, we are the primus inter pares as far as that issue, that particular thing is concerned. And so we urge Nigerians, it's www.officialapga.ng. Once you log in, the site or the portal is user-friendly. In 2 minutes, you go through the process, put in your details, just use your smartphone, take a picture of yourself, and upload. You become a member of APGA. And with that, you can drive whatever change you want in Nigeria. We urge Nigerians, especially young people, to actually take their destiny into their hands, not leave it in the hands of all these old and recycled politicians. Take their destinies into their hands, get into politics, vie for political offices to be able to drive the change that you profess, not just sitting as keypad warriors. Yes, very, very important. Thank you very much. Well, the constitution is very clear, depending on the age. Of course, as a Nigerian, 18 years, you can become a member of a political party. But to contest the election, depending on the office, 25, 30, 35, depending on the office.
Dalo.
Thank you very much.
Dalo, we're so grateful to the national chairman of APGA, Chief Barrister Sly Ezeokenwa, Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
We hope to do this from time to time to time to time. Our people needs to be educated. That's why we created BAM. Everything we say here. I had some mother. Camera. All statement. I just make it as one.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming. This is where we'll bring it to the end of this conversation. Afam Kabu Chijoke Igwendo. Ngwano Komesiano Udo. Good news! From anywhere you are in the world, you can now be our guest on BAM. As long as you have an internet connection and a mobile device, you can now be interviewed from our studio anywhere in the world. Contact the numbers on your screen to book a session with us.